This is a podcast from the Queen City Podcast Network.
Welcome to Nerd School.
This is a podcast featuring the Sith Lord of Star.
Yeah.
Suck it, nerd!
Nerds!
Suck it, nerd! Suck it, nerd!
Visit me, daddy ass.
Welcome to Nerd School.
My name is Low Key. Welcome to the Nerd School podcast. You jerk.
On that note, let's jump back into Thor Ragnarok, the second half of the movie, because we ran out of time because Art Star and TBJ were just blathering on and on. No, just kidding. They got into a fight.
Crazy kids.
Those crazy, young, beautiful people.
And TBJ, we are adults with day jobs, and TBJ is doing hers right now, but she might be able to pop in while we're on.
Yeah, she's going to try to take a break. She's going to try to tell them at work, oh, I have to poop. And then she's going to go in the bathroom with a laptop.
Not going to like that.
Was that?
She wouldn't like that.
Was that
And she's
your
going to jump
impression
on.
of her?
Yeah. If she does that, if so, just listeners, if just know if TBJ appears on this episode, she's in the bathroom.
She's in the loo.
Yeah, in the loo. No, she'll probably be in her car on a smoke break. In fact, we're trying to get her to take up smoking just so she can take breaks at work for this podcast. We all have different schedules, so it's hard for us to even mash up this week. I'm sort of on Andy and Art's schedule this week, but I'm usually on a TBJ schedule. But she's on a all day, every day schedule. She just got back from Italy. She's probably covered in meatballs. She probably has an Italian accent.
Are you suggesting she caught meatballs while in Italy?
I don't think you
some
can.
kind of disease.
No, I mean, when you're in Italy, don't you just have to swim through meatballs everywhere? Like just meatballs falling from the sky and everything. Isn't Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs a documentary?
No, but apparently shitbag Trump is referring to Ron DeSantis as a meatball Ron now.
Oh boy,
That's his new nickname for that piece of shit.
no, they're both pieces of shit.
Their guys are both horrible pieces of shit.
So let's jump right into Thor Ragnarok. Speaking of pieces of shit, Thor, at this point where we left off, was about to be taken to the arena and get a piece of shit haircut from Stan Lee.
Which he did. It's actually not a bad haircut, but it's a little.
Well, my big question about this is, was this just added to the movie because Chris Pine had to get a haircut for some other movie he was in?
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Everett.
Chris Everett. Yes. Tennis star Chris Everett is
Chris
Thor.
That would be
Hemsworth.
kind of cool. Think about it. The rat could be Milnor, right?
Yeah. Tennis
And
racket.
Milnor,
Play tennis
if I
with a hammer. Yeah.
Chris
It's terribly
Hemsworth.
well balanced.
Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
That's his name? Yeah. He's one of the Chris's.
I think it was probably also like, hey, let's save some time and not have to put you in a wig every day. And
Oh, that was always a wig? He didn't really have long hair like that?
I don't.
Oh, I guess all that braiding and all that or whatever.
Yeah, it could have been a bit of both. I think he had longer hair, but not that long hair.
Instead of speculating, why don't you Google it?
Shut your stupid face and your butt.
I thought you guys would immediately answer, yeah, idiot, everybody knows he was filming blah blah blah, and that's why he had to cut his hair, and everybody knows it, all nerds know it, blah blah blah. But they had Stan Lee cut his hair with that machine. It seems like it was just an added thing, because why else would you cut Thor's hair? Like Thor's always got long hair. That's what I don't understand. It's just somebody wanted a new look.
I think I feel like he's had occasional short hair. I mean,
Has he had short
not
hair
a
in the
super-
comics?
Once in a while, I think there was a recent thing where he was. I'm hazy.
Well,
on
Art Star's sure not chiming in.
This is what I was going to say. Like, if you really want to get deep with it, there's the whole like not my hair kind of thing. And Thor, when you think Thor in mythology, you think of long golden locks, right? So if you shear off his hair, he doesn't have the aesthetic Thor look. So it could have been somewhat subconsciously leaning into the director's head, like, hey, let's cut his hair off and make a big deal out of him going like, no, not my hair, Or we can also go even deeper and think of the whole Samson kind of thing. So who knows? Who knows, Joe? Who knows, Joe?
The
It
Google
could be just
result.
a chance for them to, hey, like, here's Stan. I guess I'll call him Stan. Here, let's put Stan Lee right here, cut some hair. Boom, we've covered the quota.
Well, now let's see what Google says. Survey says
Google says Chris Hemsworth apparently didn't want to wear a wig this time.
diva. So Chris Hemsworth is an asshole diva, is what you guys are saying, and he should be kicked out of the MCU, is what you're saying.
No, it's part of the whole. They played it really well. Like he really didn't want it. Like Thor is very proud of his hair and doesn't want to ever have it cut. And I loved the bit where it's like, if you cut my hair, I will smite you. And then he realized, please don't cut my hair, kind sir. Because he realizes he doesn't have the smite ability when he's currently.
Okay. Well, Thor is taken to the arena and put up against the champion, who is revealed to be none other than the Incredible Hulk. And Thor's excited. Yeah. We're buddies from work. Yeah.
Yeah. That line was actually, if I remember right, it was provided to him by a child who, like, I think they were, oh shit, I don't remember the whole story, but like there was a kid that they were talking to about the movie or visiting the set or something like that. And he said, you should say he's a friend from work. And then they thought, oh, it was funny. And they put it in.
That was funny. That was a funny moment. He's I know this guy. He's a friend from work. He's overjoyed to see him, but then Hulk attacks him, and the two bash each other around the area. Thor gaining the upper hand, and he tries using Natasha's calming trick to transform him back into Bruce. He's like, that little hand thing and all that, which is kind of funny. I was thinking that brought back, but. Mark Ruffalo doesn't have it, who plays Hulk, of course, and thrashes him. And Loki is very unsettled again to see Hulk out there. And I think we already talked about the part where he smashes Hulk or smashes Thor around, and Loki's like,
that's how it feels.
That's how it feels. Yeah.
And I love like that Loki was like shat his pants immediately upon seeing Hulk.
Like, oh shit,
like, I have to get off this planet.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here.
Got his ass beat.
Yeah.
But this whole sequence of the Hulk in that outfit is taken directly from the Planet Hulk storyline, where the Hulk was accidentally sent to this sort of horrible war world where he became a gladiator called the Green Scar.
And in that comic, does Thor find him and then has to battle him in that thing?
Thor is not in that comic. It's actually Silver Surfer that he winds up fighting for some reason, because Silver Surfer finds him, and then they sort of somehow turn the Silver Surfer, who is this power cosmic dude, into a gladiator. Like they put some disc on him that neuters his cosmic power somehow, and then he has to fight and use his surfboard as a shield, and they call him the Silver Savage, and that's a whole thing. But it's
and a little known fact about Silver Surfer is Ad Rock of the Beastie Boys has a Silver Surfer tattoo on his arm.
Really?
Yep. There you go, fellas.
Look at you bringing the nerd knowledge.
Boom! Dropped it. Boom.
And I think Joe Satriani has a cover of one of his albums with Silver Surfer on it, and it's called Surfing with the Alien.
Now, Art, time for you to add something. Add something into the potpourri.
I believe it's pronounced potpourri.
I chose Rise of Silver Surfer as one of our movies that we had to watch.
That's right. We
there we
Fantastic
go.
Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Boom!
There we are. We each added a Silver Surfer tidbit
I
in
came
the Thor
in and dropped
Ragnarok
some boom boom.
episode.
I think that's a whole different thing when you drop your boom booms. You have to make sure they flush all the way.
Or they're not floaters. We got a floater. We got a floater.
This is where TBJ would tell us to stop talking about turds.
Yes, and get back into the movie where
They changed it to Turd School, and we don't want
But
that.
I do
to
like that it's not the turd school. Let's don't give our detractors a nickname.
Turd
that they can use
School.
against us.
Yeah, this should be called Turd School. This
happen.
podcast sucks so bad. Somebody's gonna leave that review.
Yeah, no cut. No.
We can rate our farts.
I do like that Jeff Goldblum thinks it's called Asgard.
Asgard? You're from
Asgard, Ass
Asgard?
Place. Are you trying to get back to Ass Place?
Asgard.
Ass place. So some point in this battle, Thor's getting beat up by Hulk, and he sees the vision of Odin, and he channeled the raw lightning. However, just when he's about to win, Grandmaster, not wanting to see a crowd and his own favorite be beaten, he shocks Thor into submission as the Hulk leaps into the air to crush Thor. Thor puts his hand up in defense before everything goes black. And then we cut to Asgard with Hela and the remaining people rounded up. She demands to know where the Bifrost sword is, and when nobody comes forward, she tells Scourge to execute a random person. Scourge hesitates, but is still about to do it. Before he can make the kill, someone comes forward with Heimdall's location. And then Thor wakes up later in Hulk's chamber, being pampered by several beautiful women, and Thor speaks to Hulk privately. Hulk's
And
now
then sees
goes,
his privates. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
yeah, he sees his junk.
When you
Hulk
saw this
junk.
part,
Oh, or just
But
went.
my
Part went mute. Go
when
ahead.
when you saw this part, did you hope that we get a chance to glance the Hulk schlong? Right? Because we had this thing about when I guess we were doing the Incredible Hulk or talking about Incredible Hulk about like the size of his junk, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it was like a normal junk or Hulk
Well, yeah,
junk.
that's it. Like,
Canonically,
what do
in
what do you think
comics,
Thor
he
saw?
has a giant penis.
canonically, he has
Yeah.
canonically giant penis.
Yeah. There is an issue of the Peter David Hulk run where he's like the smart Hulk. And I can't remember who he's fighting, like some dude who's like, it's also establishes how fast the Hulk basically has this insane healing factor. So when he does take damage, he bounces right back from it. But he gets almost all, like, the Hulk is charging towards, I think, the leader and his goon who's like frying his skin off of his bones, and he goes down to a skeleton, and then it basically just heals right back almost immediately. But they burned all his clothes off, and then the leader's like, all right, would you put some pants on? You're giving some of us an inferiority complex.
Yeah, and we
That might
talked
just mean
about.
the leader has a real small dick, but
I think we talked about his wiener in depth on one of our first episodes, the
Yeah.
Hulk episodes.
I think so.
And like the beard thing, like how does he have a beard? If you had a beard, a full beard, and then it gets bigger, it'd be stubble, kind of thing, because it stretched the skin, and does the hair follicles grow? I think we talked about all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Art went on a big rant about pubes for an hour. Anyway, let's see what.
We're high.
So we
on
realized
podcasting.
I think this is the first time Hulk can sort of speak intelligently, somewhat, like
Yeah,
have a
this is the first
conversation.
time- the first time they've actually let him say something besides like puny god.
Yeah,
I think he said leave me alone in Ed Norton Hulk movie, but
yeah.
and he may have said one other line or something, but this is the first time he's like had a conversation with anybody.
It is where we kind of find out that he hasn't transformed back into Banner for years,
Yeah.
a couple years, and
Which
Hulk
is also
points-
like
shows where the Quinjet is.
yeah, it's also taken somewhat from the Planet Hulk storyline where like basically he had to stay the Hulk for all this time because it was such a savage planet that Banner couldn't survive on it.
Yeah, he gets his ass kicked. So
Yeah.
he had to battle his way.
Mhm.
And he points out the Quinjet. And I still don't know do we like this explanation of how he leaves in the Quinjet and he ends up on another planet? Like, isn't it just a jet? Like,
It's
is it a
Quinjet.
space trip? It's space traveling?
Sure, it's a high tech jet, and
How did he
last we
get-
saw him, he had jumped into the jet to beat up Ultron and throw him out of the jet.
Yeah.
And then he just sat down, and Black Widow tried to get him to, all right, you got to come back now. And Hulk
Yeah.
just said, I'm a piece of shit. I have to leave this planet. Like, basically, Hulk self-exiled There was enough of him where he's like, everything sucks, so I'm just going to ignore Natasha's pleas that I come back.
But we believe
and
in
just
that
take off.
jet, as Incredible Hulk, he figured out how to travel to another world.
He just probably pointed it up and left the atmosphere and then travel wherever the hell it took him. And he probably hit like in the comics, he hit a wormhole and wound up on that planet.
Ah, wormhole. Because at the time, at this point, isn't the only way to travel to other worlds that they know is through the Bifrost or whatever that
Asgard gets
Rainbow
around to
Bridge.
the 9 realms. Yeah.
And then when they opened that other realm when all those aliens were coming, that's the only way they know at this point. But now we have a new way to travel to planets.
He just took a ship into space, and that's somehow where it ended up because this is the Marvel universe, and there's all sorts
Everybody's
of shit out
okay
there.
with that. Everybody's all right with that. Nobody's upset.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little like, okay, I guess Quinjets are spaceships, but I get like he wasn't. I
think it was pretty beat up, wasn't it? The Quinjet beat up at that point.
I don't know. Like Ultron had gotten into it somehow and was strafing them or something. Then Hulk jumped up into the jet, and Ultron was like, "Oh, for God's sake!" And then Hulk smashed him and threw him out of the plane, and then sat down and just took. I don't know if he was necessarily planning to go anywhere. He was the Hulk. He was like, "Hulk, get out of here! Hulk bad. Everyone hate Hulk."
Like, I'm just going to take a little vacay in the space.
Yeah, it might have been like another thing where he feels like he needs to kill himself or something. Like in the Avengers, you say Bruce Banner admits he tried to kill himself, and I got low, didn't see a way out, so I tried it, and then the other guy spat the bullet back out. But now maybe this is Hulk doing his version of that, and then he winds up, oh shit, somehow I got onto this other planet. There could be a whole story in there where like he meets the Guardians of the Galaxy and they have a little fun time for a minute.
Yeah, I guess we have Guardians of the Galaxy who are space travelers here too. So
Yeah.
At this point, he learns that Valkyrie her name is just Valkyrie. Isn't Valkyrie a type of?
It's a title,
They just
but it's
call her
also they don't know her name. Like she says, her name is Scrapper 126 or something.
Oh,
And
really?
So I don't think we get her real name. I mean, like the Valkyrie from comics
Valkyrie
was Brunhilde was her real name.
Oh,
But,
you're a Valkyrie. And they see the tattoo. That's when Thor learns that she's a Valkyrie who was part of an elite all-female group, and they kind of
that
he
Thor
talks about
wanted
that
to
a
be a
little
part
bit.
of. I wanted to be a Valkyrie when I was a kid
Until I found out they had to be women. Yeah, and then he talks about how they went up against Hela, but they were all killed except for her. And then Thor tries to convince her to help, but she refuses, wants to drink instead, which is why I love her, because that's what I want to do. Also, just drink beers. Just drank. Let's see.
Alcoholic.
Hulk is happy in his life and wants to stay, but he does help Thor acquire the control device for his electronic device. I'm trying to remember how he did that.
He pawned it off her.
He got it off her, or
Yeah, like
somehow he got away from Valkyrie,
yeah.
right?
He got
Yeah,
out
I think he
talking
was-
and stuff.
Yeah, he was trying to like pitch, oh, let's be a part of the Revengers or something like that, and then it turns out he snuck that off her while he was distracting her with teamwork.
Oh, Thor pickpockets from her. That's right.
He
then
probably learned a
loses
thing or
track
two
of
from
him.
Loki.
Yeah. Thor escapes Hulk's apartment and reaches the Quinjet, but he's chased by Hulk, who smashes it up. And every time he smashes, I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna fly. And keep smashing it, it's not gonna.
But you also got to mention him trying to get into the Quinjet. I think that's big, right? Do you remember that?
The trying to find the code word to activate it.
Oh, yeah.
Strongest Avenger. Like then it
No,
turns out to be
incorrect. And then it's Point Break. He's trying to reach the Point Break.
Stark.
Damn it, Stark.
called him during the Avengers movie.
Yes, that was funny. Then Hulk is the strongest Avenger in the code word. He gets it to work. Yeah, that was kind of funny. And then they play back Scarlett Johansson's last message. I wonder how much she got paid. Is this her only part in this movie? That video from a previous thing? Did she get paid for that?
I don't know, maybe a royalty or something. Because I think I don't know if they re-recorded it or just used the same.
Well, why don't you Google it? Google it and find out. How are you? What kind of expert are you? You don't even know the ins and outs of Scarlett Johansson's career and pay structure.
I think they
For
just
movie
reused
deals.
the footage from Age of Ultron.
Fuck, can you contact Scarlett Johansson and find out?
You
No.
ever think Scarlett Johansson will be known as Mrs. Colin Jost?
No, because she's the bigger star. In fact, I think we're just living on borrowed time. Like that relationship's not gonna last forever, right? I mean, she's gonna move on to the next
I don't know.
comedy
She might be at a
genius.
point. She was with Ryan Reynolds. She married him.
She did.
Yeah. So she was married to Deadpool for a little while.
So she likes
And,
funny guys. She likes funny
yeah.
guys.
hmm And then they split up for some reason, and probably because she was young.
I think she's looking into the future, like she's predicting. Because Colin Jost usually I think he's the head writer on SNL right now. Usually the head writer ends up having a talk. Seth Meyers was a head writer. He's got a talk show. Conan O'Brien, I think, might have been head writer at one point.
I don't think it was
Maybe
head
he wasn't.
writer, but
Oh, you're a head writer.
your mom was a head writer last
Your
night.
mom was a head writer last night. Our moms are the same person, so that's weird. Anyway, and she doesn't listen to this podcast because she's not a nerd and she doesn't understand what the hell we're talking about. So, mom, if you're listening, meet Art Star. He seduces everyone's mothers. So I don't know what we're talking about. Okay, we're talking about Scarlett Johansson, and she's in the little video of her trying to Hulk, we need you, and it kind of prompts Hulk to transform back into Bruce Banner. And then Thor explains to Banner, whose last memories are of Sokovia during the Ultron offensive. And Banner's unable to believe Hulk was able to remain in control for 2 years and doesn't want to transform again, knowing if he does, he might remain the Hulk forever. And so we kind of talk about this. Valkyrie meets up with Loki, and the two engage in a brief fight. And after Loki learns where she comes from, he uses his powers to make her remember her last encounter with Hela. And we kind of see the redo of that. And then Valkyrie has a change of heart, and she decides to help Thor return to Asgard and shows her goodwill by beating and chaining up Loki. Reuniting, Thor and Loki head down to steal a ship. However, Loki attempts to betray Thor to the Grandmaster. This is one of my favorite parts where, you think Loki's turning on him and he's like, oh, yeah, guess what? Zip. And he zaps him and Loki falls down.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do that. Like, there's like the bit in Avengers where Loki sort of escapes the prison pod thing and presents an illusion, and then Thor charges at him, and then he charges right through the illusion into the prison thing, and Loki goes, are you ever not going to fall for that? This is him not falling for it. And then he gets the monologue. It's all about change and evolution, and you just want to stay the same. So here, I'll leave this over here for you if you can stop frying like long enough to figure out how to get it.
Yes. Yeah, that was a funny bit.
Yeah.
So he's got that device on his back when he shot. Oh shit.
And it's sort of like a metaphor for how Thor Ragnarok is very different from the first two Thor movies. It's an evolution of character.
Yeah, he's one ahead of Loki. Which reminds me, I was playing Marvel Snap earlier, and we are sponsored by Marvel Snap now. No, that'd be crazy. And I was one step ahead of the guy I was playing, man. He had gotten Venom up to 50, and that's all he had on the left, side. And he was
pulled out
whooping my ass.
Shang-Chi.
No, I had Shang-Chi waiting instead of like putting Shang-Chi there to kill Venom because he got to go first. I knew he was going to bring out Zola and give me 2. And so I knew Zola would be 0 on this one. I'd be beat because I had like 32 and he had 50. So I put my Shang-Chi boom over here where there was nothing, knowing he was going to move his guy. And he boom, sure enough, boom, here comes Arnim Zola, 0 on the one I got, and then puts his 50 in his 50, and boom, I killed him. And I was like, I'm one step ahead of you, brah. And he
Take
snapped
that, you
me.
son of a bitch.
And I learned like Thor learned to be one step ahead of Loki. Boom.
You learned how to defeat Arnim Zola in Venom combination.
I saw it coming, baby. Saw it coming a mile away. Everyone should play Marvel Snap. It's the greatest thing ever. I can't stop playing it. Although I'm still upset about the drops. I'm not getting
You're not getting enough tokens.
increased
now that you've completed
tokens.
Series 3.
Yeah. Anyway, only super nerds will know what we're talking about, but hopefully that's our audience. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe we got new people too that are like, "What's Marvel Snap?" And they'll start playing, and they won't be good, and I'll be able to beat them. So play Marvel Snap. It's a fun little game on your phone.
I can play Marvel Snap so I can beat you.
Yes. So I get more points or whatever. Thor, Banner, and Valkyrie steal the Grandmaster's party/orgy ship and escaping the Grandmaster's clutches. I love that it's like, yeah, don't touch anything. Like he's has a bunch of sex on here. And I was just, the whole thing is just covered in goo.
Yeah, don't put a black light on there. Just like you don't do in any hotel room.
Yeah. Yeah. Every hotel room is covered in everyone's semen.
Yeah, there's a thin layer of sperm covering
Gross.
every square inch of every hotel room in the world.
Yes.
In the world.
Sorry, folks with OCD and
Sorry, anyone who's traveling.
Cleanliness obsessions.
Anyway, they escape the Grandmaster's clutches. And they leave through a passageway known as the Devil's Anus. That was a funny bit when they kept talking about the Devil's Anus. Reaching Asgard just as Hela is about to destroy the remaining population who had attempted to escape through the Bifrost Bridge. Thor engages her in a vicious battle, but is still overpowered and loses an eye. That's what I was going to say. Is this also something like this? Obviously, like he's now like Odin, right? Because Odin's missing the eye. And does this happen in the comics too? Does Thor have an eye patch ever? I don't remember that ever happening.
I think he does. He did for a while. Again, I'm not a huge reader of Thor comics, but because a lot of time, I don't know. I mean, I like Thor well enough, but I've never like really been super keen on reading his solo adventures. Just personal thing.
Super Bill Keen.
No.
The Family Circle.
No, Bill Keen
comic
of
artist.
Family Circus.
Family Circus, yeah.
Has
Bill
nothing
Keen
to do with this.
is Bill Keen the greatest comic book creator of all time? Comic writer?
Well, it's not me.
What?
You
It's
know,
not
to
me.
Andy,
Get
Rob
it?
Liefeld is the
Not
greatest.
me. The Family Circus guy.
not me.
That
Was
runs
that
around doing all the stuff that?
Yeah, he's
kids
like the ghost that does all the bad things on the
Yeah.
Family Circus.
Yeah.
I gotta say that Family Circus mom, she's got it going on.
Thelma.
She can get it.
Whoa.
Our
Do you
stars
prefer the
also
old
do-
school with the weird sideburns she has, or
I don't remember.
I think they
I don't
updated her
remember
hairdo.
enough. Ah, boy.
All right, well,
Boy,
you're a piece of shit.
Billy's incorrigible, isn't he? Billy. Jeffy.
That darn
Jeffy's always
Billy.
Jeffy's always getting into shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dolly and really annoyed by PJ's antics. All right. Anyway, reaching Asgard. Okay.
They
Wait,
have
wait,
a
wait.
dog named Barfy.
Barfy. That's right. Okay. All right. Back to Thor. This is about the time when he thinks he can't do anything without his hammer, and he has the vision of Odin who explains to him that the hammer just channeled his powers. You don't need that hammer. You are the god of thunder.
God of hammers.
I
You're the
think,
god of hammers.
right. I think the whole eye patch thing, that there was a storyline where he had to become the king of Asgard very reluctantly. And I think this is borrowing from that. I don't remember. I can't tell you specifically what the storyline is, but
So you're saying he reluctantly crouched at the starting line?
yeah.
Engines burning and running through time.
But
All
yeah,
right. See, this is hard without TPJ just yelling at us to get us on. We keep getting all these weird.
I just like letting you, when you make a dumb reference, I like letting you stew in it.
So-
Sit there. All right.
Hey,
You
let
said
this
that.
nerd keep on going.
What were you hoping to accomplish with that?
Well, this is also when Odin tells him that Asgard is not a place. Asgard is not a place, but a people.
It's not ass place, it's ass people.
Ass people, and they can ass people. It's not an ass place; it's an ass people, and they can reestablish their society and culture anywhere. And
Ass place, Asberg.
Asperg, he does say
Asperg.
Asperg. So Asperg is not a place; it's a people. And then now Thor realizes his full abilities and he unleashes a massive lightning bolt, repelling Hela. As Valkyrie and Heimdall attempt to hold off Hela's army, Loki unites with Korg. Korg's back and
yeah, that's true.
and other escaping fighters, and they get a ship. And they use that to evacuate the Asgard.
You look to be in desperate need of leadership. Why, thank you. It's just Loki and Korg. And then like that whole bit where this sequence is the whole Bifrost battle is pretty great. Scourge has realized he's backed the wrong horse and he's trying to disguise himself as a refugee to get away from Hela and just pretend, oh, I didn't have anything to do with this. I'm going to put the axe down. He's doing that. Loki had come with the ship with this grand, your savior has arrived, to try to be the hero he was pretending he was at the beginning and writing plays about.
Yes.
So it's kind of like he's trying to be a good guy, but in the fucking Loki vainglorious way that he always has to do everything. And Hulk is fighting the Fenris wolf and actually suplexes a giant wolf at one point.
Yeah. That was kind of it sort of had, I don't know, it was giving, as they say the kids, it was giving first Hulk
TBJisms in there.
It was giving first Hulk vibes when he fights those dogs. That was whichever Bang Lee Hulk, yeah. He has to fight all those dogs. It was kind of like a giant dog, you gotta bring Hulk.
And it's also kind of a reference to the first or the Edward Norton Hulk movie where he thinks he's cured himself of being the Hulk, but then Abomination is tearing the shit out of Harlem, so he basically throws himself out of a helicopter to force himself to turn back into the Hulk. And you don't know if he falls for so long and you don't know, oh shit, I'm not going to turn into the Hulk, I'm just going to die. But then he does. Right. Yeah. And then this time he does the same thing and just screams onto the Bifrost.
When I went to go see the movie, that was one of those moments when he jumped out. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fucking cool, right? And then when he immediately hit the thing, I was like, oh shit. That's like that really loud oh shit moment, because you're like, what the fuck?
Because that looked like it hurt. Yeah. And oh shit.
You assume he's dead then, right?
This is how Bruce Banner is gonna die in the comic book movie. Yeah, you don't really think he's dead, but it's like, how is he not dead? But then because he's the Hulk and the Hulk heals very fast.
Yeah. And then Scourge kind of sacrifices himself to ensure the ship is able to escape.
Which is the Scourge story.
That's what he does. Executioner does.
That's usually he was just like a stooge of the Enchantress, just because he was in love with her. But his most notable story is this from he was like one of the masters of evil and stuff. But
he turns good at the end.
Bridge of Gallerbrew is in the comic book story. But he basically they're trying to escape the realm of Hela's realm of the dead or something for some reason, and he realizes I have to stay and hold these people off so you guys can get away. So, but he's got the twin machine guns in the comics as well, which is weird for Asgardian people to be gun wielders. But it's one of the classic Walt Simonson stories. Walt Simonson is one of the legendary Thor writers. He wrote Thor from 1983 to 1987 and did a whole shit ton of good Thor stories.
Apparently he wasn't too legendary to you, Andy, since you weren't really into reading Thor comics.
I was not, but I mean, I had to
do that for Joe. I had to do that for Joe. That was a Joe move. I just had to
interface, Andy, you son of a bitch.
On my previous podcast, which I did with Ian Robinson, who was a big Walt Simonson Thor fan, so I sort of learned by osmosis that Walt Simonson, and because he wrote and did the art, he completely made these comics, and so, which is impressive. You don't get a lot of writer artists. I mean, I guess you do. I mean, the artists have a lot to do with how the story unfolds as well. It's usually a collaborative thing, so if you can do both, that's good. But Walt Simonson, Thor legend, wrote the story where Scourge sacrifices himself. Then it's a really cool looking sequence where he's sitting there fighting off hordes of undead demons, just blowing them away with guns, and it's like, ha! I'm still executionering people. But
do you own that comic book?
I don't think I do, because I don't own a lot of Thor comics. But
Art Star, do you own that comic?
I do not.
Jeez, you guys are terrible nerds. You guys just lost all your nerd cred. TBJ's got it. We know it. And she's got it on her right now, probably in her pocketbook or purse. Do they call them purses? Are you allowed to say purse anymore? Do women carry clutches? A clutch? A handbag?
I think-
Anyway, she carries it with her. That comic, probably. All right, where are we at?
the fight, and then he gets the power of lightning, and then Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin kicks in again, which is about hammer of
Come
the
from the life and
gods.
rains and snow.
And it's like, all right. I think that galvanized all the nerds. Like, oh, this is awesome. Thor kicking all sorts of ass.
It is
using
pretty
just
badass.
lightning powers from his hands, as opposed to having the hammer. I was like, all right, Thor's the next level. There's a section of nerds that are all about how powerful a dude can, like, they're excited to buy all powerful characters. Like, there's I don't know if it's like a Dragon Ball Z kind of nerd where everyone's all about who could beat who in a fight, and Goku is the powerful guy of the universe. I don't know much about Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know anything about
I
Dragon
know
Ball Z.
Art, how much do you know about Dragon Ball Z?
I know.
If anybody
I know
knows.
some Dragon Ball Z.
There we go. If
Isn't that
anybody knows,
Dragon
it's
Ball
Art.
Z.
Isn't that basically what it's all about? Is like who could win in a fight, who has the biggest power, and all they do is like they're in a room about to fight, and they're talking about how powerful they are.
Vegeta is all about being the one who wants to be the most powerful. Like Goku, all he wants to do is, eat and fight. Like he don't want to. He doesn't worry too much about power.
Because he has all the
fighting.
power, right?
Yeah, but he loves fighting. He loves fighting and eating, which is a weird anime trope, because like Naruto was all about fighting and eating ramen. So it's always something weird about them always wanting to fight, burn up a lot of energy, and then immediately want like, oh, I'm really hungry, and they eat a shit ton of food, and then they still want to go back and fight some more. So
are we talking about
like
giant Dagwood Bumstead sandwiches, like Scooby-Doo Shaggy sandwiches?
exactly.
Okay.
Or you like just bowls of ramen. You're like eating it really, 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 really fast. I don't know why I said really, 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 really fast. Some people just like,
Well, you're trying to be Blur. John Machida, the Micro Machine Man.
So
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z is basically just Blondie the comic. With
no,
Dagwood
basically,
Bumstead.
Dragon Ball Z is actually based on the Monkey King. So
Okay.
What is that?
The Monkey King. There's a Marvel character called the Monkey King. That was
Yep.
in the Fear Itself storyline. I thought he was just
Really?
like this weird little ninja guy, or is he
I
like a
think he's
drunken
actually-
master?
and then I think like right now the Monkey King has either an ongoing series or he's
No, are you thinking about Hit Monkey? Is different from the Monkey
No,
King.
it's not Hit Monkey. It's actually Monkey King. But I don't know if he has his own book or if there's a storyline that he's prominent in.
Brass Monkey?
Brass Monkey.
Man, you bring it back.
That
to
funky
Brass
monkey.
But yeah, like there's a section of nerds who's all excited about how powerful I got. Like there's
Like
Thanos fans just
They
because
just
he's-
want to, yeah.
see who will win in a fight. It's always like who would win. Superman or Thor the Hulk is a big, like, these guys are super
Yeah.
powerful bricks. It's
Yeah.
always who's gonna win, or like who would win in a fight between this hero and that hero, or this villain and that villain, or this whatever.
Yeah.
And who would be the ultimate, like, you'd think, but these guys are usually kind of not Superman fans, which is weird because Superman is the most powerful dude. There'd be more of the, given enough time to prepare, Batman can defeat anyone. And
Even Galactus?
yeah, that's what, like,
That's
the
what they
trope,
say.
the trope is,
So-
as long as Batman
Well, it'd be Darkseid.
has time to prepare.
So you're saying people that are into Dragon Ball Z just like those matchups? Is that?
I don't know.
Is what
I'm
that
just-
is? And
but
what is Dragon Ball Z? Is it a game or is it a cartoon or
It's
is it a?
it's
Is it
an
like I thought it was
anime.
like I thought it was Pokemon. I thought it was the same thing.
It's
No,
an anime, but it's also
Is it
you
based
have
on a
the
manga,
basics
or is
of
the manga
Dragon
based
Ball
on?
with Goku's a kid, and then Dragon Ball Z is him as an adult who ends up having kids and he becomes a grandfather. They're
Is
like
Dra-
there's different. It's like they're
Is Dragon Ball Z a person or a ball? Is it a weapon? Is it a game? Like, what's a ball?
It's not a person.
It's
or
not a person.
It's like
Like a Dragon Ball
here's
Z
the thing.
is like a thing you want to get. Like you
Short
earn the
short-
Dragon Ball.
short synopsis.
Short
Basically,
synopsis.
that's your dragon. I want to say the dragon's name is Shenron, right? And Shenron has these Dragon Balls, which
Shenron?
have been spread throughout the galaxies, right? Whoever
Shenron.
holds
Wait.
Say it again.
Shenron is a dragon that is shooting balls into the galaxy.
He's not shooting balls. Let me finish. Look,
Sorry.
it's complex, but not complex, right?
Okay,
So,
dumb it
he
down.
has these-
Dumb it down for the dumb guy here.
He has these 7 balls, right?
Balls. He's got 7 balls. He's a
7
7-balled dragon.
And so whoever holds these 7 balls is granted a wish.
So it's
you
like the
have all of
7-assed thing in South Park. I've made a turtle with 7 asses, but this is a 7 balls.
So you have
And-
these 7 balls. So there
Yeah.
are people that are flying around the galaxies trying to locate these 7 balls. Because once they get these 7 balls, they can call on Shenron, who will grant them wishes. But then in the meantime, they're having all of these tournament battles where like this person is fighting this person. It's like Kumite style, and you have love.
They're fighting over the balls.
Say it again.
They're fighting over balls.
They're fighting over balls, basically.
Like I get a ball if I win. I get balls.
No, you don't. No, you don't get the ball if you win. But it's almost like it's someone's just like, hey, I bet you I can beat your ass. I bet you I can beat your ass. Or there'll be some tournament where it's like it's 16 fighters. Who will win? Who could be the champion of the world? In the meantime, we're still searching for these balls. If you want to call Shenron.
Oh, wait, so the search for the balls has nothing to do with the battles. The battles are just like, hey, while we're looking for balls, I bet I can beat your ass.
Right, pretty much.
Oh yeah,
pretty
I can.
much.
Oh yeah, no, I can beat your ass.
That's
Let's
the
find these
dumbed down
balls.
version of it. We're just here for the balls. Let's just fight while we're trying to search for the balls.
So it's not Dragon Ball
Dumbest
Z.
fucking-
It's Dragon Balls.
No, well, see, that's just it. You have Dragon Ball, which is the Young Adventures of Goku. Then you have Dragon Ball Z. Then there's Dragon Ball Z Kai. It keeps going. It keeps going. It gets
So
bigger
Dragon Ball
and
Z
bigger
is a
and
separate thing. There's Dragon Ball, there's Dragon Ball Z, and there's Dragon Ball Z Kai.
right. But and then that's Super Dragon Ball. It goes down a deep rabbit hole.
I hereby apologize for derailing the conversation into
Can you
this
name
into
all
Dragon
7?
Ball.
Do all 7 balls have a different name?
They
Like-
have stars on them. So it's
All-
as simple as each ball has a star on it.
Oh, different
Yeah.
kind of star.
Like a different color?
And then there's Bulma. She has it's weird, but Bulma has this detector which can locate the balls. They're like space cops and the shit.
So
There's
why
one
not
guy
just
who's
use
like a
that and
delivery
get all the
guy.
balls? What happens
like
when
a-
you get all
he's
the
like-
balls? Do you
Right,
form
say
a
it again?
ball, a giant testicle like
No,
Voltron?
it's not that big. It's about the size of a grapefruit. But
I love
and then-
grapefruit.
So then the cool thing is once you call Shenron and he grants you your wish, the balls then just disperse again, and you have to do the whole find them again kind of shit.
Oh, that's
it's literally
right.
Like
You're
a
getting-
Metroidvania.
You're getting the balls just to get a wish.
Just
And, then-
just to
and
get a wish.
what if you just get the balls? Can you wish for more wishes? Or can you
wishes
wish
don't
to
work
keep
like
all the
that.
balls?
In any continuity, wishes don't work like that. You can't wish for more balls. I mean, you can't wish for more wishes. You can't wish for like what?
You can't wish to keep all the
immortality.
balls.
Say it
Can I
again?
please have 7 balls?
Just to have a giant nut sack full of 7 nuts.
Wait, who's talking about nutsacks, Andy? Why did you make it this blue? This is gross, Andy, and
You're
you're
the
a
one that
bad
said
person.
testicle.
DJ's right. TBJ's right. You're a bad person, Andy.
Yeah, pretty shitty.
She's gonna love this episode. All right. So I don't know that I know anything more about Dragon Ball Z, except I know a little bit more about it. That I always thought it was just Pokemon. I thought it was just the same thing as Pokemon. I don't know why. Because there's cards involved, isn't there? There's like a card game of Dragon Ball Z.
There's Yu-Gi-Oh, which is
Oh fuck! What's Yu-Gi-Oh? That's what I was
That's
thinking
like
of.
Pokemon, except there's dragons.
That's a
I
crazy.
guess Pokemon has dragons too. I don't know.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon in my head were all the same
same
thing to me, because I guess it's all kind of anime style, and maybe it's the stupid white guy in me, but I just lump all that together. But I did play Pokemon Go a couple times, so I guess I am now post-racial society, Joe.
You are a post-racial society.
I am in a post-racial society now.
All right, Squirtle.
Squirtle? What's a Squirtle?
Charizard.
That's a Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon. Pokemon.
It's a turtle that squirts.
Pikachu! And then Dora the Explorer. Does that have anything to do with this?
Jigglypuff?
Jigglypuff. That's from
Jigglypuff.
Harry Potter, right?
No, Jigglypuff is Pokemon.
What's an Effluff? Hufflepuff.
That's Harry Potter.
Heffalump.
Heffalump
All right.
is Winnie the Pooh.
Back to Thor uniting with Valkyrie and Loki, knowing Hela will soon be back as she's growing stronger, and he realizes that he can't stop Ragnarok, but he needs to bring Ragnarok about to defeat Hela. It's the only way you're going to defeat her, with Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, which calls back to the beginning, which like I expected that was just like a cameo appearance from Surtur. I was like, oh well, that's just a joke from the start of the film, but
yeah,
they bring it on back and they make it like, oh shit, this guy's serious, even though
Loki goes and gets this crown.
Yeah,
that they made fun of, and puts into the eternal flame.
An eternal flame.
And so in this description I'm reading off of, I think, IMDb, it says it's also heavily implied that Loki takes the opportunity to steal the Tesseract at this moment.
again, yes, because he walks by at one of these in Odin's treasure room and you see him look at it and he pauses, and then you don't see what happens next, other than that he puts the skull into the eternal flame.
So I'm guessing this must be foreshadowing for something that happens later.
You'd be right.
Oh, Bo, what a good guess. So then Surtur is resurrected and is laying waste to the kingdom. Hela mounts an offense, but is of little use because Surtur is too powerful and destroys her with his sword. Thor escapes.
We don't actually see her.
We're not sure if she's destroyed, so we think she might come back.
But she does draw her power from Asgard, and Surtur is destroying Asgard. So once Asgard is done, Hela's power is presumably negated. And since it explodes and shit, there's good reason to believe she's dead, but we don't actually see her die. So, and she is the goddess of death, so she might have some powers.
Yeah, she probably, I mean, if there's anything we've learned, it's none of these gods ever really die, right?
Yeah. I mean, Ragnarok.
I mean, Loki's died how many times?
I think there's one of the things they say is that like the birth and death of Asgard, the beginning and Ragnarok is always like a cycle that happens again and again over like millennia.
What I want to know is when does Mjolnir come back? Does Meow come back? Or is that a spoiler?
Spoiler.
We will see Mjolnir again soon.
Oh yeah, Mjolnir's coming back. I can't wait to find out how it comes back. Oh man, this will be. Does it happen in Black Panther, which is the next movie we're getting into?
No.
Okay. I'm excited about Black Panther. Watching that next. We finally talk about it. We've been talking about it, like we've mentioned it so many times, and we can finally get into Black Panther. I'm so excited about it. And there's so many of these Marvel Snap characters that are in there that I don't know that I realized who they were from the movie, until I kind of was looking at some of the names on there. So anyway, we'll get into that next episode. But and then so Thor escapes with Loki, Hulk, Heimdall, Valkyrie, Korg, and the surviving civilians, prisoners, and we have that little tableau of all of them. It's kind of neat seeing Korg and Hulk on the opposite ends, like it's like a portrait of a family, and as they're kind of flying off, and to see that Korg is like just as big as Hulk is kind of funny to see, because he's a big dude, but
and then he thinks Meek is dead, and Meek's not dead.
Yeah, he wasn't dead. Meek died. I'm just carrying him around. That was kind of a funny thing.
Oh, Meek, you're alive. Yep.
Yeah.
That was the fun little way to button Korg, and then
Thor's like
in the king.
Yeah, he's the captain in the captain's chair as the king. and his first order is to return to Earth. Which I don't know. I'm just kind of like, why do they want to go to Earth? Like, what's the?
Well, Thor likes Earth. Jane Foster's in
He loves
Earth.
Well,
Midgard.
Asgard doesn't exist anymore, so where else are they going to go? I guess.
Yeah. He's got friends on Earth. He probably thinks, hey, I got resources.
That's true.
I know they have a wizard now because he met Doctor
Yeah.
Strange. So they're going back there to see what they can do. Probably be refugees.
Lo and behold.
But then again, they think, oh, everything's gonna be all right. And then in the post-credits scene, this
So first is the mid-credit scene where Loki worries over Thor's decision to return to Earth, knowing he won't be very welcome there. Since on his last visit, he tried to take over the planet. And Thor assures his brother he feels everything will be fine, just as a menacing ship that dwarfs their own appears through the window. And maybe that's what you were talking about, like that. Yeah. Oh, what's this coming? And then the post-credit scene is the Grand Master, who had been chasing Thor, crashes on the garbage planet where he's confronted by the scavengers, who are also a bunch of former slaves. And he congratulates them on the revolt and agrees to call it a tie. Let's call it a tie. And they're all surrounding him, ready to kill him. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum really kind of stole the show, I think, in this one.
Yeah.
He's such a funny guy.
Why are you handing me the melt stick? He interrupted me. That's not a melt-worthy offense.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I love that. I love Korg. I don't know. I think I love Korg more, but I can't wait for more Korg. I can't wait for him to come back.
There will be more Korg.
Because now we're really getting into the MCU parts that, I mean, Black Panther, I think, is the last thing I watched, like, before we started doing this podcast, I think, possibly. Like, I don't think I've seen anything past. I mean, I sort of passively watched the one where everybody dies with the kids and the kids were watching it.
The one where everyone dies, like, you know, that Avengers death movie.
Where everyone just disappears into the ether or whatever. Like, I was kind of like, what is happening?
I mean, but you've also watched the shows, though. You watch
the shows. Yeah, the shows with us. But Black Panther, I know I did watch. I saw that, I think, in the theater. This is probably the last one I saw in the theater. But I didn't see, like, Captain Marvel or I don't even know whatever the next movie. And none of the other Spider-Mans that come out.
But like, it's very, I mean, for everyone who was watching, like, the big giant ship that threatens the Asgard ship, everyone's like, this is Thanos. This is when shit starts to go down. So all you nerds, when you saw that part, you nerds were freaking out in the theater in the post credit scene, like, oh shit, because
Thanos is coming. You knew it was Thanos.
Infinity War was on its way, and that they've been building to this, and it's like, oh shit. I mean, we didn't necessarily see like, hi everybody, I'm Thanos, but
but you guys all like went to Denny's afterwards, like, oh, Thanos is coming. I think he's gonna come. Blah blah blah. It's gonna be Josh Groban.
Excited over a Grand Slam.
It's not Josh Groban
eating moons over my hammy. It's gonna be Charles Grodin. It's gonna be
Charles
Thanos.
Grodin is Thanos.
He's gonna be Thanos with Beethoven the dog.
Yep. Beethoven. That's how you pronounce it.
Beethoven. Anyway, thanks for listening, nerds. We've gotten through Ragnarok. We're now to the end, and now is the time where we all guess what TBJ thinks of the movie.
I think she liked it better than the other Thors, but I don't think
she didn't have to watch it. Like, she wanted to watch it because it had the Hemsworth, and she was there for that. But
she's there for it.
Didn't have to. If someone told her that this movie was coming out as a remaster or in, IMAX now with some added features or whatever, the only reason she would see it was because she wanted to see Chris Hemsworth again. Like, she didn't necessarily have to see this movie, but she had to see Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, yes.
Although I imagine she might appreciate Valkyrie, and I think
she appreciate that. She would. So basically, she came for Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Yeah. You guys did. What did you guys think? 'Cause I feel like you guys have been talking about Ragnarok forever. Like,
Oh, I
before
love
we
it. I
got to
think
it.
I know and to me, this is the best one. This is one where it's like, when the first Thor came out, I was like, did we really need this? Do we really need this? Right? And then when the second one came out, it was like, why did we have this? But when this came out, I was like, okay, this is fun. This is like a lot of the callbacks, the little Planet Hulk kind of, being kind of sort of like a little small background thing to this. To me, it was awesome. Like it was awesome. It was the awesome Thor.
Yeah, being a big Hulk nerd and really enjoying the Planet Hulk storyline, I was glad to see that was incorporated. Like, I was delighted to see Korg in it at all. And even though he's completely different kind of personality, he was a lot of fun. This is a way, like, I guess for some reason they can't quite do any more Hulk standalone movies without paying Universal a bunch of money or something, who did the Ang Lee movie and might still have some rights, but they can put Hulk in other storylines. So this is a way to do that, which really is a way to make Thor more interesting. Like, Thor, as a general character, like, I'm not super into the mythology and fantasy realm sort of stuff. I mean, I like Lord of the Rings well enough.
That's the cool shit right there.
I mean, some of it, I mean, there's cool elements to it, but when, like, a lot of times Thor stuff will get really into the weeds about mythology and stuff, and I'm like, it's not really my jam. But
oh shit, TBJ shout out.
But yeah, like the first movie was like, okay, Thor is such a weird concept. Kenneth Branagh translated this weird ass space Viking who talks like Shakespeare into like a reality that we can get behind. And it's like, okay, all right, the Thor needs to exist in the Marvel universe. He's one of the bigs. He's one of the, like, the three crucial Avengers are Cap, Iron Man, and Thor. So he needed to be there, and that worked well enough. I mean, it wasn't a super, like, oh, this movie is awesome. It's like they pulled it off. And then the second movie kind of, it had sort of a lackluster villain and wasted Christopher Eccleston in there, and it just was like, it's fine. It's not, like, you tend to think in retrospect that it's worse than it actually is. Like, it's fine, but it's just not like as cool as some of the other movies. But this was, all right, let's have a lot of fun with this. Let's go full on Marvel Cosmic. Let's go full on Jack Kirby color scheme and designs. Let's just embrace what it is and have a lot of fun with it, and let Chris Hemsworth just be as funny as he can be. Like, everyone is frustrated that Chris Hemsworth is so good at so many things. Like, he's a good actor. He fucking looks like he does.
You're saying
they
hate us. They hate the Hemsworth.
Yeah, it's like, John Klump would say, my friend John would go, I'm a little mad at him because he shouldn't also be funny. Only nerds should be funny. He should just be the pretty guy. But he's hilarious, and he's also that.
I feel like I'm a pretty guy and I'm a nerd.
Yeah, and I just read something about, like, Chris Hemsworth had a role in the Ghostbusters reboot, the one with the all-female Ghostbusters reboot, and then at one point in there he, like, started singing a song, and he was like, he had a really good voice, and I think it was like Melissa McCarthy or somebody said, no, you shut up, you can't have another thing. You have everything already. You can't have
you can't sing now too. Yeah. That's funny.
So it's just really taking advantage of Chris Hemsworth's charisma and having a whole lot of fun with it, and getting a little bit more into the Hulk's weirdness of his psychological dynamic. And the best use of the Led Zeppelin song you can imagine. It's like, all right, this is where it belongs. Let's kick all sorts of ass. And Hulk suplexed the giant dog. That's great.
Yeah, anytime there's a wrestling move.
Like, all right, let's Surtur destroy Asgard, and then Hulk goes and tries to fight him. And he's like, but big monster. No, Hulk, for once in your life, don't smash. and that I loved that bit too. It's like finally the Hulk got to talk and be the Hulk that we all know and love. So yeah, I really love this movie.
Yeah, that's good. It was good. You guys love it. It was good. I don't know. Thor's not my favorite either, but Korg makes it worthwhile. And Tessa Thompson was great, and of course Jeff Goldblum. So yeah, I think it was good. I'm excited about Black Panther though, because I know that's a good one, and everybody loves Black Panther. And yeah, so
Yeah.
but I really don't remember it. Like it's been so long. I mean, I don't think I've seen it since it came out. And what year are we on? What 2018,
2016 should be 2016.
2016. But this is like a game changer, so I'm excited about it. I remember liking Black Panther and not having any idea, never reading the comic, but just it looked like a cool character. And Andy had Andy, you had like an action figure of him or something. And I think, I don't know. So I
was
remember
so
just thinking, he looked cool.
about the Black Panther movie because I started reading Black Panther when the Marvel Knights imprint launched. I mean, I can save this for the Black
Yeah, we'll
Panther
get into
episode,
it. But yeah, I'm sure you'll get in a lot of
But I was so
that.
excited. I got to go to an advanced fan screening that came out just a little bit beforehand, and I took my Black Panther action figure, and I got a little Black Panther commemorative coin, and I took a shit ton of pictures of him. I couldn't believe that there was a Black Panther movie. I was so my mind is blown that like we got to a point where Black Panther gets his own movie, and I was very excited about it. And
I already just remember the hype being crazy about that. So it's cool. And I didn't even know, like I said, I just thought he looked cool. And I remember him from Hero Clicks, because when you taught me to play Hero Clicks, he had the same blades, claws, fangs power as Wolverine. So I always loved that he could roll 6-sided die and give somebody 6 damage, which was awesome. So that's all I knew about. I didn't know anything about the backstory. So it's fun. That's what's fun for me about all this, is learning everybody's backstories, and that, you guys telling me what's in the comics without having to buy and read the comics.
the comics are worth reading. They're definitely worth reading, and it's just it's an interesting. I'm trying to think. This Black Panther is basically the first mainstream big budget superhero movie starring a black character. I mean, like it has Spawn, I guess. But that was a shitty movie. Blank Man was Damon Wayans being a ridiculous comedy.
And you got Meteor Man with
Robert. That's true. And I don't know was that any good? I never saw that one.
It was. So
was it before it's ahead of its time?
So see, this is one of the moments where TBJ would be good in this right here. Just because it speaks to the black experience. So like movies like Meteor Man and Blank Man, like while they're not good, but they end up being like niche cult favorites of black people. So like how like a lot of black people say they love I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I mean, there are a lot of other races who would love it too, but black people like I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, CB4, shit like that. Like, oh, these movies, they might not be that great, but as a black person, they're awesome. To say like, oh, I like watching this. Oh shit, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker on. I'm gonna watch it.
We love that movie. Andy and I watched that a lot growing up. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I think didn't you own that, Andy? Or I think we had a VHS of it.
Yeah,
I think we watched that.
I'll never forget the soundtrack too.
And the CB4 soundtrack, yeah. I remember.
CB4 just recently celebrated an anniversary too. So,
CB4, sweat from above.
Sweat from above.
Was it I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? That scene where that pimp has the fish, the aquariums in his shoes. Yeah. That's one of my favorite. Yeah, that's right. Oh gosh, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker was awesome. I mean, of course, it was the Wayans brothers, and
at the height of their power.
And Living Color was huge in our house too. We watched that all the time too. Andy had a Homie the Clown T-shirt. I remember.
I did.
Homie don't play that.
Homie don't play that. Yes. Oh man, I'm gonna get you sucker. I'm gonna watch that again. I wonder if you can get that on streaming.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but Black Panther is the first time is like holy, like it's another level.
So Art, what you're saying is Black Panther is basically just I'm gonna get you sucker with superheroes.
Oh, Black Panther is Shaft with superheroes.
There you go.
Shaft goes to Africa with superheroes.
Okay. And we'll bring this up again, but when we talk about Black Panther and TBJ can weigh in.
Yeah, that'll probably have to be 3 episodes to talk about Black Panther, I'm guessing, because
There's gonna be a lot to say.
we've been talking about a lot. So anyway, this has been the Nerd School episode number
Blah, blah, blah.
insert number here.
81.
And we're done with Thor Ragnarok. We're going to move on. Black Panther will be next. Thank you for listening, everybody. Rate, review, subscribe, tell all your friends, tell your enemies.
And just remember, at some point in time, we will get TBJ to say Excelsior.
Excelsior, yes.
I mean, yeah, if you can get Jeff Goldblum in quotes to introduce our podcast. Sorry, I didn't mean to burp there. Ooh, some Raisin Bran Crunch
So
just came up.
I guess we could. So if I could record her, I'm sure if we could trick her into saying Microsoft Excel, like what's your favorite spreadsheet app or spreadsheet in Microsoft Office spreadsheet maker, and then I could clip when she says Excel,
and then
I'm sure she
give me a
said
4-letter
C.
word that rhymes with poor.
I'm sure she said C and or several times on this podcast. I'll just have to go
Like
cut
that's a
those.
lot of work.
Excel C or I'm sure she said this. It's going to be Excel C or it's going to sound really dumb.
She could say X, like she has an X, and then who is now,
or we could like the people
say
who
someone
like
is in a cell.
the whole
She probably said
take a
Thor was in a
mashup of someone's voice and make it into a song. We could get them to like break down every time she say a word, like isolate the E sound, isolate this sound, then mash it together, speed it up, tweak it, just so you can get her voice just saying Excelsior, Excelsior.
The power she holds over us just by not saying Excelsior.
Right. It's like, and she knows it. She knows it. It's a powerful thing when you can control the masses like that,
Yeah.
Which is why she'd be a perfect Sith. But for some reason she wants to play a Jedi.
She'll have to say that on the final episode. When we the final ever episode of Nerd School.
Will we ever have a final ever episode though? Like
obviously we will cover every movie that ever existed that nerds might even sort of like. And at the end of that, when we're all 90.
Well, somebody will be in hospice and will be like, okay, this guy's got 24 hours to live.
You better say Excelsior real quick.
We'll come up, we'll play like a round of Jeopardy, and the answer will be like, what is Excelsior? And like she wants to win because it's like for $1 million. Like she's gonna have to say it. You're gonna have to say it, TBJ. You're gonna have to say it.
This made up word is what Stan Lee would say, Stan Lee's catchphrase. And then you'd have to say, what is Excelsior?
That's funny. All right. Thanks for listening. We're out of here. End this. Art Star, sing us out.
And I'm telling you. That's it.
Thank you for listening to the Nerd School podcast. Excelsior.
About the president no more, but evidently they don't see we in the streets still poor. Still more incarceration of my kinsmen by the prisons, and people thinking this election to end racism. Proud over pessimism, glad to see Obama, but don't expect me not to speak out when I still see problems, Mr. Officer. Now they POTUS look like me, you gon' think again when seeing brothers rolling down the street. Every Martin Luther King on his American dream. Still a Rodney being beaten, screaming fuck the police. Me, I'm running through the pasture, trying to get away from master, but the dogs is on my ass, I gotta move a little faster. Can't pass for Caucasian, but I got a couple papers from the plantation saying I graduated. Congratulations, cool beans, but to most school me, trying to dodge STDs, living off government cheese. Trust the government, please. Not even if it was me, sitting in the Oval Office as Commander-in-Chief, trying to give us free, but there's a nigga in my ear saying, you got it, Superman, you ought to keep it here. Get this distinctly clear, I'm all about jetting. Raps Kunta Kinte without the half-stepping. A new chapter, back with new lessons. After that, the final exam. Any questions?
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.